Well, here actually inside the ground, the tension is so great, I promise you, you can taste it. The players in the tunnel. The build-up at last, everybody's been waiting for this. The whole of Paris has been tuned into rugby, perhaps as never before, for the whole of the last week. And now the big moments arrive. The French under as much pressure as the English, just as tense. They know that they're expected to produce the goods here. And if the crowd here at the Parc de France believe that they're not doing that, they can be quite cruel. Well, there, the French just as hyped up as the England team. Pascal on darts there, the oldest man in the team. And there, the French president, Mitterrand, and the French rugby president, Parc. This, of course, the end of the French hosting of this stage of the competition. The two quarterfinals, the one here at Parc des Princes and tomorrow at Lille, is the last French involvement before the tournament switches to Britain. Well, one look at those French faces told you everything, didn't it? Incredibly keyed up. And there, a rundown on the teams. The biggest loss for France, undoubtedly losing Didier Cambrabero, and replacing him, the relatively inexperienced Terry Lacroix, winning his 7th cap. He played against Romania in the centre because Sella was unfit and replaced Cambrabero against Romania. The other change in the forwards, where Marc Session is fit again and resumes at number 8. Frank Meynell there, the French centre, winning his 44th game. There's the English team. They've changed their number 8 as well. Done the unthinkable by dropping Dean Richards and reverting to the back row, which played here in 1990. Mike Teague moves across to 8, and Nicky Skinner comes in on the blind side. Also a recall for Nigel Heslop, who played on the right wing throughout the Grand Slam season, but lost his place to Chrysote on the summer tour. Peter Winterbottom, England's most capped forward, winning his 46th cap today. Frank Meynell, 44th cap. He's now 22 as a fly half and 22 as a centre. And the sun has come out to greet the start of this game. There's Laurent Caban and that Rob Andrew. The officials today, referee David Bishop from New Zealand and his touch judges Stephen Hilditch of Ireland and Keith Lawrence. And there's the great man himself, Serge Blanco, playing his last game at the Parc des Princes. His 93rd cap today, an incredible record. Blanco's 16th game as captain. And the game in motion. Terry Lacroix, the new outside half. What a good start for him. The kick right back into the English half. And that will be very reassuring. The 24-year-old from Dax made his debut against Australia in '89 as a replacement for Camberabero, and then scored 17 points in his first full game for France when he played in the second test against Australia at Lille. So he's no mug, he knows what he's there to do, and he obviously relishes the big occasion. Ackford getting up at the front of that line-out. And a penalty, the French killing the ball. The last one up, the police inspector, Paul Ackford, who secured that ball at the front of the line-out as he does so many.
Yes, and the key man he is for England, Paul Ackford. And that is a crucial area, winning those penalties. Rob Andrews putting one up in the air, keeping the play going.
Great kick. Session underneath it. But good pressure from England at the start. They vowed they were going to play very, very fast rugby for the first few minutes to try and put France on the rack. There's the weights of the two packs. England have an 18-kilogram advantage over the French. Good solid heel, that's what they're looking for. Rob Andrew putting it high again. They're going to try and test out Blanco early on. He's dealt with that one really well though. Penalty to France.
Good start though by England, John, and straight away it's Skinner and Shaw facing up to each other. There's no love lost between these two lads, I'll tell you. They've played against each other before. They both know each other's game. Good pressure though by England.
And Serge Blanco received a little bit of a raking there, some studs, but he seems fine. Totally vulnerable. I don't think the England players guilty of any unduly rough play, but they're going to take advantage. Now he's missed touch and Heslop hoists it back into the 22. Blanco marks it. And Heslop hits him and is immediately floored. Now this always a difficult situation. At the end of a mark, the player not certain whether the mark's been given. He goes straight in. And the French captain guilty of retaliation there too. And Heslop really did take a big hit there. He looks in real trouble.
Well, here we see it like again, you say, John, a bit of a flashpoint. Heslop doesn't know the mark's been given. He goes through with the tackle, and Blanco just loses his head completely.
Yes, and the touch judge, Keith Lawrence, certainly saw it. He's called the two captains over. There's the mark. The whistle goes. Heslop carries through with the tackle. He's perfectly entitled to do that. And it was that last two or three punches That really was indisciplined, and I don't know whether the referee is warning Blanco himself there.
Well, he certainly should be. There's no question that someone chasing a mark has to continue until the whistle goes. It was right on the line. Hislop did exactly the right thing. He went in to make a big tackle. It's a completely undisciplined play by 2 or 3 Frenchmen.
And Hislop appears all right. A penalty to England, so Blanco and the French penalised there for overreacting. We knew the first minutes of this game were likely to be rough and tough, as each side just seeking to gain some sort of advantage. But coming up to 5 minutes gone, and the first chance for John Webb now to put points on the board. The kick taken in at the 15-metre line. The roar from the crowd, there's never any silence at Parc des Princes. Yes, right through the middle. And that was a real tester for John Webb. He had to wait a long time. And he lands it safely. England take a 3-0 lead.
Yes, the French crowd very unhappy with Mr. Bishop, but in all honesty, he could do no more than give a penalty there to England. And that's 3-0 and a very good start by the team. They look very, very psyched up.
Terry Lacroix with the restart. Nobody gathering it first time. And touch there. England have the throw-in. Jeff Probin the last up. Brian Moore with the throw reinstated for this match as the England pack leader. Eckford at 2 in the line, Dooley at 4. Skinner got a hand to it. Richard Hill working the touchline. Lafont, but stopped by Moore, carried on by Leonard. Good ball for England. Carling getting an accurate kick in, but not getting the bounce he wanted. Lovely work by Blanco, staying cool, creating space. And Philippe Saint-André able to make the touch.
I think the French look very nervous, John. Good play by Will Carling to put the ball behind them, put them under pressure. They were just dithered there. Lafont giving the ball to Blanco under a lot of pressure.
Hill out to Andrew. Carling. Teague around him. But a penalty. A short arm tackle. And Brian Moore calms down the England troops. Session it was.
Yes, it was a big hit. The law says you've got to grab hold of the tackle. You can't just shoulder charge him. And Mr. Bishop is technically correct there. Here it comes, the big hit on Teague now. I think Brian Moore did a very good job of settling the England boys down. He got them all away. Discipline will be a key to this game.
But exactly the sort of start England would have wanted. Just over 8 minutes gone, and their second kick at goal, this one from an easier position than the first one. And the doctor from Bristol plays his rugby now for Bath. But John Webb with the chance to make it 6-0 for England. Yes, he's got it. Coming up to 9 minutes gone, and England have a 6-0 lead.
No one's had to play much rugby yet, John. England have won the best two line-outs, and they've played the percentage game, kicked the ball down, chased it, and the French have just given them 2 penalties.
It's always a fascination with French. They're full of great players, great flair players, but sometimes the discipline does go. England know this. They know how to play them, and they've used that to their advantage in the opening minutes.
Played one of their best games this current team has ever played when they beat them here 2 years ago. Touch just about on halfway. Galtier takes it quickly, but it's taken from the wrong place. The referee calls them back. It'll still be a French throw-in just inside the England half.
Blanco screaming at the referee, but really that wasn't even close. He was about 15 yards off the mark. But, the French are going to settle down here.
Wade Dooley there, 2 centimetres taller than his opposite number, Rumac. Not forward by the English.
Very interesting distinction at the first line-up. England threw short to drive on it, but France had to lob it into the back, anyone's ball.
France badly need to get some good ball that they can use. They're certainly rattled at the moment. They feel that if they can start playing the rugby that may have the beating of England, but they know that England are going to try to control the pace of the game, and at the moment they're succeeding. Session holding it, Champ breaks. But the scrum has twisted through 90 degrees, so the referee resetting it. Skinner, he had a very big game here in 1990. And they've robbed them of the ball. Peter Winterbottom coming up with it from the far side. And again, scuffling. Brian Moore rushing over to draw the touch judge's attention. And the referee's called the 2 front rows together.
I don't think it's for a cup of tea either, John. They flared up there, the 2 front rows. They squared up to each other. And as the ball went into the corner for an England touch, there was a hell of a punch-up going on this side. They'll have to calm down.
Yes, it's getting to a point where they really must get a control of themselves, or somebody's going to go.
Absolutely, we've got to be very careful. Both sides now. The referee's warned the captains, he's warned the front rows.
Penalty against Jason Leonard. And the French take it quickly and try to get things moving in midfield. They've got the forward momentum they want. Now to the back. Blanco has it, but no space. Lovely little kick, though, to find touch on the England 22.
It's already very clear the way the French are going to want to play the game. They're going to get the ball quickly into lineouts, quickly into scrums, tap penalties, run the ball into the midfield, and try and develop some momentum, move it wide from the second phase.
Ryan Moore now with the throw. The line out, one of the great contest areas. Ackford get his hand to it first. Hill wriggles round the front, gets past Morocco, but can only make a yard or two. I don't think I have ever seen people like Eric Champ so wound up. Ackford and Rumac also exchanging blows there at the front of the line-out. There's Olivier Rumac. Morocco with the throw. Goes down to the back. Champ takes it cleanly. They've got a weight advantage there. And not forward.
The tension in this stadium on the pitch is absolutely unbelievable. I've never experienced anything like it in my life. And I'll tell you now, it's going to be a contest and a half out there. The two packs are really, really laying into each other.
Richard Hill trying to stay calm. Teague has Broken, they've got good control, no pressure on the English scrum there. Rob Andrew finds touch, takes play up to the 10-metre line almost. Right at the back with Skinner, there's Laurent Caban, Champ by himself, and again it goes up there, and Caban takes it cleanly, using his pace, a tremendous drive from the flanker. Ruma almost gets away. England caught cold for the moment. Caban again, but Lacroix drops it. But the England backs all offside, really put under pressure, and creeping offside round the side of the ball. Serge Blanco signals that they'll take the cricket goal, and it really couldn't be simpler.
There's one very severe lesson for England from that little movement, is that they must make their first tackles. If you miss the French, they get men in behind, they're going to be extremely difficult to stop. They must stop them right on the game line.
So the new outside half, Terry Lacroix, with a chance to bring France back into this game. Just over 15 minutes gone. And a simple kick. There it is. So, France 3, England 6, and everything to play for.
How many times over the years have we seen it? England got the grip on France, and suddenly you relax for half a second. Great pace, great play by the French, straight to the England half, and 3 points, they're right back in the game. You can't keep your eye off these guys for 1 second.
England 6, France 3. Rob Andrew restarts. Hits it long. Blanco behind his own line. This is where he started the move from. That wonderful try at Twickenham last year. He's just tempting England. And then quickly hurls the ball to the 22, so the option of a quick dropout is on. It's a good kick. Great touch.
He started well, this young stand-up. There was a lot of pressure on him. His first kick to touch was a beauty. He's kicked 3 points for this first penalty, and now he's put France back in the England half with a great dropout.
If I were calling the line-outs, I'd be calling the ball short to Ackford all day. Just throw it in at Ackford, he'll get up in front and drive the ball out. Nothing silly, they don't want anything loose, they must control the pace.
Dooley gets it for England, and away comes Jeff Probyn. Skinner, but he can't control it. Made his run too early. The referee says there was no knock-on. And that one dropping dangerously for France. Jean-Baptiste Lafont. And Heslop got a hand to it.
Talk about casual, Lafont there. I can believe it. He almost got the kick charge down for a try. He's got away with it, and it's the French throw as well. Very lucky indeed.
Morocco. And Champ leaping all over Teague, getting a hand to that one. He appears to be the danger man for France at the moment. It's the one place where France have got extra height on England in the back row. Champ, very tall man at 6'5", jumping against Dooley at the moment, second in the line. With Ruma at the front against Ackford. Good win for England. Carling wide there to Guscott. Lovely break by Guscott. And it's a try for England. In the corner, Rory Underwood. A great score for England. Superb run by Jeremy Guscott, joining the line at pace and opening the French up like a can opener.
And here we see this man Guscon again. What a player he is, what a tournament he's had. He's in two minds here because he can beat most people one-on-one. And then he realises Serge has got him in his sights. Lovely vision there. And Rory does not miss those. Great try for England.
What we didn't see was his pace. It's his hit at pace that takes him through the first line of defence. In fact, I thought he made a little mistake looking to try and beat Blanco on the inside. He realised he needed to go left and use his support, which he did in a good pass. Webb did well to leave it, and a great try.
And that takes Underwood's total to 32. Webb with the conversion. No, this is it on the left side. But that's the real first blood to England, Steve.
Yes, swing low, sweet chariot, ringing round the ground now. The Dax band's gone quiet here, John. But they've got to be careful. You always relax when you score. Teams tend to relax. They've got to keep their eyes open. They've got to keep alert, because France will come back with any chance.
But psychologically, a wonderful blow for England, scoring a good try. They'd have been content to amass points just through pressure at the start. Try a real bonus. There, Rory Underwood, England's record try scorer and record cap winner, his 49th cap today. And he drops out. Pickford just charging past the ball. Good little run from Gaultier. Gets the ball back again. Out to Lacroix. Andrew takes him, but Caban now, again, putting tremendous pace into that drive. Session carrying it on. And a good ball for France. Gaultier, though, delays. Offside. The offside not against Richard Hill. That ball was out. And Gaultier was fair game, but the other England backs have crept up around the side of the ball.
Yes, and as David Kirk said a few minutes ago, we can't afford to miss first tackles, and that's what's been happening in that movement. And the referee, I don't think he's penalised Peter Winterbottom. I think he's penalised the guys behind him for overstepping the ball, so it's a correct decision. And France once again back in the game. Absolutely crucial when you go ahead that you just play the percentage game. England had to win that dropout 25 and play the ball back into France's half, put the pressure on them. Miss the tackle, they're going to go another 3 points to France.
Lacroix with a kick almost identical to the first, and no problems at all for him. So England have given away those 2 penalties for offside when they're under pressure at the balls. The score now, France 6, England 10.
What a great game Laurent Caban's having. He's been at the forefront of all the driving French play. Great pace, and he turns and sets the ball up early enough for the rest of them to get him behind him.
Lacroix shows the ball to Underwood and then drifts away and makes a lovely touch. Taking play back over the halfway line. I thought it was a weakness, John. Where have they found this guy from? He hasn't put a foot wrong yet. Certainly playing very confidently. There the bench, Gary Pearce, Simon Hodgkinson, Gary Rees. They know what a big game this is. An incredible feeling that you either march on or suddenly it's all over and you're out of the World Cup. England getting the first tap again. They've still got to work to win this. They've got it. And it's a testing kick. Saint-André going to mark it, but he was well outside the 22. And the referee saying there were 2 players down. So it's a scrum and England ball. To get the mark, he's not allowed to do it there.
I say he would have been looking for his fullback there. Serge should have come in and supported him and tried to help him stay on his feet.
Richard Hill. And that scrum turning through 90, so he'll reset it.
One day we'll ban this law, John, and get back to some real scrummaging.
Yes, it doesn't seem to have worked quite as the administrators hoped. Andrew hoists it high, but it's a bit short. Carling got a hand to it. Now, can England turn it into ball? No, they can't. They knocked it forward.
England really feel as though Blanco, great player that he is, does not get into the high ball. And here we can see Blanco is absolutely nowhere. A little bit unlucky there, Carling. If that had gone back, it would have been real danger for France.
Teague has already broken, gone to the blind side. And Blanco down the middle, knocked back. The referee's happy. And Lacroix just playing tease behind his own goal line. Up to Galtier. Lacroix. Again, that long kick. Difficult for Heslop. It's a knock-on. Causing real problems with these dropouts. And Heslop trying to claim it had gone backwards, the referee having none of it.
Yes, he got away with the first one. He wasn't going to get away with the second one.
And the referee still unhappy with the front rows. They're going down too low. And then when they're not going too low, they're actually splitting up, and he won't have that either. Lacroix. Skinner underneath it. Champ comes charging through. Session. Lacroix. And misses on the left side. Fires that one past the left post.
Great decision to go for the drop goal. The French crowd was screaming for him to pass the ball out to those dangerous French backs. I think that was the first mistake he's made. And it could cost his side dear. I thought there was half an overlap there on the right.
Andrew, it's a bit long. But Session knocks it on.
Great tackle by Winterbottom. That jarred him, his teeth are rattling there.
I'm sure Rob Angel will look to kick from this again. There's a variation from the two. He's put back into the box high, and that's to slide the ball across field behind the left winger.
France, as you saw there, had the heavier front row, but England the weight advantage overall in the pack. Quickly moved, using Carling. Neat little bit of work by Lafont. Such a good footballer, just letting it hit his body. That's not a knock-on. And Rouma bursting away. But Mickey Skinner's got himself in there. He's got a hand on the ball, in the ball, but Champ comes away with it. Galtier, and if he can release it, which he can't, there was an overlap on the right, but England now have control. And again, from an England point of view, it might have been better had Rob Andrew looked wide there. They had extra men.
No question, he had three men on. Even if the French had closed them down, the last man could have kicked. Kicking inside from second phase is a no-no, Michael.
French captain Serge Blanco desperately anxious to win this quarter-final. He wants to go out on a high, really believes he can lead France to the World Cup. Really sees this as a match of destiny. You can't believe I will lose my last match at the Parc des Princes, he was telling me last week. There, the line-out so far. England have had 8 of them, and they've won 7. And they've taken a couple of the French, so they're winning the line-out battle at the moment, and that's another vital phase. Well, Agford got to that one, but it then slipped away from him. Galtier looking for support, and Champ is there. Now they've got some space. Blanco chasing it now, but brought down by Carling, and Webb puts it back. Blanco under it. He's run 5 metres, so now Carling can go in, and he's hoisted his kick directly into touch.
Yeah, Serge not having one of his better games here, but I'm a bit weary of saying that, because he might pick the ball up in the next 5 minutes from 100 yards.
I suppose he's under a great deal of pressure in his last match. He feels when he gets the ball in his hand, he has to do something, he has to make some play. I think it would have been better just to ship the ball onto his wing then, rather than kick it himself.
There, Ruma, the big second row, 6'7" tall. And just 10 minutes to go now to half-time. Jeff Probyn thrown back, but he managed to release the ball. And then somebody else tried to get a hand on it. I think it was Skinner, and a knock-on. Galtier with the feed. A little chip over the top. Webb coming forward, and Winterbottom coming back. The referee reminding the tackler and the tackle player that they must get away from the ball as soon as that tackle is made. The put into France. England holding them. Session now breaking round the blind side. Galtier getting more confident, trying to snipe through there. Lacroix. And England have it. But the referee whistling up, even though the ball was coming out, because it was a dangerous situation with players on the ground. But England do have the put-in at the set scrum. And that's a very important win for them, because they were under pressure again there.
They certainly were. A good play again by the French halfbacks. 2 young boys here. I think they're playing really, really well. But England have got to clear the lines here now.
Good, solid scrum. Andrew takes play another 20-25 metres upfield.
Very encouraging scrum from England's point of view. Mike Teague was able to lift his head out, look around, make sure he had the ball under control and deliver it when he chose. There's no pressure coming through from the French in the set scrum.
Dooley being told to move over. Back it goes, and the French got the touch. Tadia and Champ, but it was a forward pass. They'll have to come back, and it will be England's put in again.
Oh, that was lucky. They were well behind them there, the England defence. They've got to be so careful at the back of these line-outs. The French are doing well, and that's such a dangerous area to win line-out ball, because you're immediately into the heart of the England defence. But fortunately for England, it was a forward pass.
So the scrum just outside the England 22. Teague again able to detach completely. And Rob Andrew slicing his kick, so England still in this danger area, well in their own half.
Yes, it's the French throwing the line out as well. They've got any tactical nous now, they'll be throwing long again, and they'll be running at Rob Andrew there. That's the last thing you'll want to see, is that French back row trio running at him all afternoon.
The French have shortened the line out. We have Kadir, Rouma, Champ, and at the back, so he can run off the back and use his pace, and that's what they've gone for, Caban. But the pair of them scuffling away there, I wondered whether he was going to try and make a decision. And he said no, and that was fair enough. That was certainly 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. And he's ordered a scrum and given the put into the attacking side.
I think it's very well refereed. You could see that there was a problem developing, and rather than throwing a penalty around, he just spoke to them and told them he had none of it.
And now the French are getting a push on. And Session trying to break away. Most of the England front five in front of the play. The loop around, Lacroix. Saint-André going through the middle. And a penalty to England. Holding on to the ball. Too long, you've got to release it straight away. This is David Bishop.
Fascinating again from that set move. That's a move that France have used a lot over the years, and Blanco normally comes back from the loop, but he was nowhere to be seen at all, and as a result, a ruck formed, a penalty given to England.
Touch right on halfway that time, just 5 minutes to go to half-time.
Here you see Jean-Baptiste Lafont taking the ball. He hits the ground now. He must release the ball, but he's holding it up, and you'll see him flick the ball out now. He had to release it immediately.
Skinner all on his own. Offloads it to Akford, who sets up the ball. And England have had the perfect setup here, so they ought to be able to get something going. Teague trying to work away, but he's isolated himself. But England still have the ball. The ball becomes a ruck. Andrew. It's a good one this time. Carling waits for Lafont to hit the ground. Guscott goes chasing after Blanco. And the late tackle given. Rory Underwood penalised for a late tackle on Saint-André. Lacroix, again the French taking the kick very quickly, not allowing England to settle. England getting in there, but they still haven't got the ball, they haven't got it off. Blanco chips ahead. Richard Hill gets the touchdown, 22 dropout, and the tackle wasn't late. A lot of the French crowd calling for a late tackle on that man, Serge Blanco.
Yes, Serge going for the ABTA award there. He wasn't that badly injured. I don't even think the tackle was late. We'll see it now. We'll see it now. No, that's fair. I don't think anybody in the French crowd would agree with you, though, John.
I'd be very surprised if Blanco's hurt. It didn't look as if he fell in any strange way at all. It was just a good body tackle.
But the one thing here, David, the play has noticeably been much more in the England half over the last 20 minutes.
Oh, there's no question about it. France, in fact, for the last 20 minutes of this half, have played all the rugby, and England have been fortunately winning some crucial mauls, and France have been giving away penalties which have allowed England to clear their line. But France are playing all the rugby at the moment.
Blanco hauls himself to his feet. Andrew with the dropout. And England have control. to get the put into the scrum. Still France 6, England 10. That vital try, the difference between the two teams. Blanco has come onto the left wing with Jean-Baptiste Lafond going back to fullback. Penalty to England. Deliberately wheeling the scrum. That was given for.
Strange to see Blanco in his game of destiny, well out of sorts with himself, just moping around on the wing, where of course where he started his great career all those years ago.
Yes, he's won 12 caps as a wing. And there were a lot of people who said they'd feel a bit happier if it was Jean-Baptiste Lafond in the fullback position and Serge back on the wing. He's got the pace, of course, to be very effective there. Minutes up. There'll be a little bit added on for injury. That stoppage to Nigel Heslop and to Serge Blanco. Jeff Probyn tidying up, driving in. And a charge down by Caban. John Webb gathers it in. And they've lost the ball. Maynell out to Sella, but now a chance for England to hack away. Heslop gets his boot to it. Blanco's back there and takes the simple option.
Well, very fortunate for England there. Great play by Laurent Caban to get through and charge the ball down. If only he'd got a bounce, he could have towed it on, he would have scored unopposed. Here it comes now, Rob Andrew watching the ball. He'll have to be quicker.
And the half-time whistle goes. The referee not adding on much for injury time. The score, France 6, England 10. Welcome back. Well, there's that man, Jeremy Guscott, the man who made the England try, and Serge Blanco, who's moved himself away from fullback and finished the first half playing on the left wing. Steve Smith, if you were the England captain, what would you have been saying in there at half-time? The game started well for them, they had control, they scored a good try, but it did slip away from them after that.
I would say let's play like we did for the first 20 minutes and not like we did for the second 20 minutes. And I would also re-emphasise they can't afford to miss tackles. You miss one tackle against these guys and they're in amongst you and look very, very dangerous. Back to the first 20 minutes, back to the basics, make the tackles count.
Jeremy Guscott, who can really inject pace into any back division. He's totally at home in any game in the world. Scored a wonderful try in the second test in Australia in '89, which really saved the series for the Lions when they looked like losing that second test, and he turned that one around. Roger Utley, the English coach, has just said, it's tense stuff, but we'll come again.
Never one for understatement, Big Roger, and he's right there. It is tense stuff, and we do need to come again.
So France, restart. Rob Andrew makes a safe touch. But it's now important for England to get away from this position, deep in their own half quickly. They don't want to get stuck down here, David Kirk, do they?
Absolutely not. They must continue to be very positive about the ball they get, not just think about clearing their line and kicking it back to the French.
England just about getting the drive on there. And it collapses, so that becomes all important. The other information that has come back from the England camp is that Heslop is not right, and they might be thinking of replacing him. If they do, it will surely be Simon Halliday. And Galtier getting away. He really was quick onto that. Lafont taking it on. England back now in numbers, but they are under pressure. Galtier, Lacroix, and Meynell drops it. England get in there and start knocking them back. The scrum goes to England again. They got away with it, but that was awfully nervous stuff. Galtier nipping in there.
Yes, myself and David Kirk will testify that was a scrum half's dread. The ball hit the hooker's foot and just shot out the side. Galtier pounced on it, and danger again.
Certainly, Fabien Galtier has come of age in this World Cup. He looked very insecure, lacking in confidence in the first match, but he's got better ever since. Again, those flash points happening, the maul and ruck situation still dangerously tense.
Very good kick from Richard Hill there. He put the ball high and made sure his forwards could get there. The worst they could do was a line out from the French, the best to scrum that they can now play most positively from.
Good control on this scrum. Hill again working the touchline. And Winterbottom offside. Had to stay outside 10 metres if he started his run from in front of his scrum half, and he did. So the scrum back at the point. The ball was kicked and the put into France.
It's just small errors at this level that lead to pressure. Just little things accumulate and you end up spending a lot of time in your own half.
Session getting a chance to run. Lacroix, space for Meynell. Blanco going right back round the left side. This is where he's dangerous. And the England forwards look as if they've got it again. Hill foisting it. Lafont looking for somewhere to go. And he's been missed by Richard Hill. Champ. Morocco the hooker. Meynell again. Inside to Blanco. He's past two men. And the boo's going up. Caban, I think it was, for laying out Rob Andrew, the England outside half. The referee just making sure the England players know that he's seen it, he's going to deal with it. There goes Blanco, cutting back, but back here, suddenly Caban was getting involved and letting fly at the England outside half. And Rob Andrew really went down hard.
In fact, John, it was Philippe Salah. You'll see him here coming back on the Rangi. Watch Salah coming in here now. Rob grabs hold of his shirt and he turns around and gives him a haymaker with the left hand.
There's no question that Rob Andrew was holding him back, preventing him supporting Serge Blanco, but I guess there's no excuse to punch him.
The referee calling them both over. I think he saw the whole incident. As you say, Philippe Salah, the very experienced French centre, winning his 79th cap today. Rob Andrew's got a fair bit of experience too, England's most capped outside half. And a scrum ordered with the French put in.
Yes, bad news for England, but you can't really argue with that. Rob was pulling his shirt, and I suppose in some ways he got his just desserts.
Yeah, the England front row. The scrum twisting immediately.
They'll have to be very careful doing that here. If the referee rules that they're doing it on purpose, it'll be a penalty.
Yes, he's having a word with Jeff Probyn. And that one's straighter and better. France trying to get a second shove on. And Session picks up again. Feeds it this time. Saint-André. But good tackling from England, except the forwards have got in there now, and that will certainly be a French scrum.
The pressure on England is absolutely intense at the moment, but fair play to the England team. The tackling is magnificent, and they're just keeping the French out. But it's a lot of time to spend in your own 25-yard line, and you just can't help feeling that something may have to give.
There's nearly 7 minutes gone in this second half, and it's been almost non-stop pressure on England. Mickey Skinner in the wars, just a blow around the back. That won't bother the big man.
Great deal of credit needs to go to England's midfield at the moment. They're under intense pressure, but they're staying behind the line and making their tackles, holding off. Here's the French drive as they go forward, and the referee blows immediately. The ball goes to ground.
France have always been behind in this match. From the 5th minute, when John Webb kicked a penalty. A lot of dummy runs there, and the ball stayed with the forwards. But the French have got to drive on. England have got to regroup quickly if they're to stop this. Goes down, that will be another scrum to the French. And tempers are not cooling down at all.
I tell you now, it's like a powder keg in there, and something's going to ignite this game if we're not careful. There we see the French going over the top, boots all over the place, bodies all over the place. Players taking exception to it, boots going in again. The referee's got to be very, very careful here. He needs some help from his touch judge.
Peter Winterbottom, the England flanker, who's played some great games for England, and they need him now, just about 3 metres short of the England line. Lacroix come over to the blind side. The scrum collapses, and the referee is saying it's nobody's fault.
Never is, John, is it, in those front rows?
Galtier feeds the scrum again. And a great tackle by Skinner on Session. And what a big tackle that was. England getting the scrum exactly as they needed it. That is what Mickey Skinner was brought into the team to do.
Well, if ever Mickey the Munch Skinner wanted to earn his place, he just did it there. That was a brilliant tackle. He picked him up and he put him back where he came from.
Bad decision by the French to run against a screwy scrum. They should have gone left, not right.
Penalty to England. And a chance now to really relieve the pressure. They were judged to be guilty for dropping the front row, and again the front rows are at each other's throats.
Boy, there is no love lost here. These are two teams who absolutely, desperately want to win, and they've turned it into a hate match.
Rob Andrews' kick. Taking play only another 25 metres upfield, still in the England half. And 10 minutes coming up on the clock. England have not yet been out of their own half in this second period.
Well, it's been all one-way traffic. We need to win this line-out ball, and we need to get out of our half. But once again, you can see both line-outs nudging each other before the ball goes in.
Closing the gap, says the referee, penalising Wade Dooley there. So a free kick to the French. Blanco just questioning whether it was a penalty or a free kick. Being told it's definitely a free kick. Skinner there, ready, looking for the big tackle again. Lacroix puts up the big ball to Webb. And it bounces loose. There's room out there on the left now. Galtier. And a cry for France in the corner. Jean-Baptiste Lafond. It had to come. The pressure had been too great. That his 5th try. His 6th try in this World Cup, which equals the record held by Craig Green and John Kirwan. They both scored 6 in the '87 tournament.
Here it comes down, and Galtier making pace on the outside and throwing a lovely pass which gave Lafond the outside edge on his marker. Great pass. It had to come from the pressure, and here's Galtier looking, running with the ball in 2 hands and throwing a lovely pass out in front. Hislop turned in, and of course he didn't have the opportunity or the legs to take Lafond on the outside.
And the England team in a huddle behind their own post. They know that they are at the moment in danger of losing this match. They really haven't got into the game again in this second half after starting so well. They held on marvellously in defence for 10 minutes, but now the try has come. And here, a chance for Terry Lacroix to give France the lead for the first time if he can make this conversion from the touchline. And he's missed it. And a sigh of relief from the English. The two sides absolutely level now. 2 penalties and 1 try each.
England just must take some big breaths, think about the basics, go back to playing the ball down into the French half, allowing for their mistakes. They must not try and do anything spectacular or anything different, just play good, basic, solid, hard rugby.
Supposed to be England putting the French under pressure with the high up and unders, but that time they turned the tables on them.
Certainly did, but I can't understand why Rob Andrew keeps dropping these kick-outs straight to the French fly half, because he's just putting it back with interest.
So England at last have a position in the French half. Brian Moore with the throw-in. But France come up with the ball. Great drive from Grégoire Lescoubet. The big Agent prop. Serge Blanco puts the ball in behind England, and it gets the bounce that he was looking for into touch.
Yes, the French are happier, Serge is happier, the crowd are happier. England need to contain this now.
Blanco restored to fullback, just went on to the wing while he recovered his wits. I can't help feeling that England have really got to take control of the lineouts if they're going to win this game. Good two-handed palm there from Ackford. Andrew puts it into the French 22, but Saint-André under no pressure at all.
Once again, John, you're exactly right. England had to win that line-up more than they did.
And taking it quickly, they won it again, but the referee saying it was taken from the wrong place. England now trying to up the pace. 2 second rows from each side in this lineup. The variations during this game have been fascinating. And Cadieux trying to jump early.
Mr. Bishop's got to referee these line-outs. Both sets of line-out forwards were jumping over each other before the ball was thrown in there.
Yes, he's ordered free kicks for closing the line. It happened just as much there. Teague goes away. Gets the ball released. Andrew passes it at last. Guscott loses the ball, but offside. The French backs called for offside when Teague set up the ruck. That was when the offside would have happened.
Very popular decision, John, as you can hear around the stadium. But really, Jerry Guscott had an overlap there. He should have looked outside him, but it matters not. England have got the penalty. A chance now to go back in front.
John Webb. The kick right on 40 metres, which shouldn't give him any problems distance-wise, and he's just to the right of the posts.
There's the ball going down. We can't see the penalty here, but again, drop ball in midfield. Not good news.
John Webb. It's not going to reach. And Ruma jumping like a line-out forward underneath his own post. But the kick was never long enough. Rob Andrew has it. And his kick really not very accurate either. And eventually Lacroix hoisting it into touch just outside the French 22.
That was amazing. Ruma almost jumped and tipped it over the bar there, John. It was a magnificent athletic leap.
2 metres tall. Skinner, having come to the front of the line, winning that one. Hill chasing away. A tackle made, but he got himself just in front of his forwards, but France have robbed him. Webb underneath it. Gets the kick into touch.
Richard Hill needed some help from his forwards there. It was a bad tap back. Hill tidied it beautifully. It looked as though he laid the ball back well, but France came out with it again. And they put the ball behind England.
Well taken by John Webb, but England are making small mistakes, which means they can never sustain pressure for any length of time. Back in their own half again now.
Clean take that time for England, and they've got a good drive on too. Oh, that must... No, the referee saying that wasn't offside. I'm not so sure he'd agree if he saw it again. Teague set up. Forward pass to Teague, though, as they tried to set him up and put him away. So a scrum down to the French.
What a pity, but like David said, small things like that, you see, that should not have been a forward pass. England should be driving at them, and now they've got a scrum against them.
There's the possession just slightly in favour of the French. Back to Lacroix. Webb and Underwood. Webb trying to curl it close to touch. It's not close enough. Lacroix is there.
Can't help but get the feeling that England, given that they're not having much opportunity to apply pressure, need to be more positive when they've got the ball. They've got plenty of big, strong running midfield backs, and they've got a loose forward trio they've picked specifically so they can get there. They need to run the ball and seize some initiative.
The two presidents wrapped in their attention. Robert Ferras, the president of the French Federation, and Monsieur Mitterrand, the president of the Parc. Up goes Ackford again, winning good ball for England. They're starting to get back into this game through the line out. Hill has it. The other backs put the forwards onside. Carling tries to get, but it's Ruma. What a good footballer he is, this big second row. Galtier back to Blanco. Good touch from the French captain.
Great play though by Ruma. And there we see the territorial advantage, which is so evident in this game. England must get back in their half, and they must do it quickly.
Coming up to midway through the second half, and the possibility of extra time looms. England getting the scrum. Again, the referee pointing out that there were so many things wrong with that line out.
I'm sure he could have picked any one of about 15 indiscretions there, but in the end he just shrugged his shoulders and let it go.
Galtier trying to sneak the put in. The referee being very explicit as to what he wants, telling them to get their heads up. Hill has it. Andrew again. It's outside the 22, but it's a bit too deep. The back's unable to put pressure on Blanco. Webb under this one. Comes back to Hill. The scrum half trying to snipe down the touchline. Finds a good little touch. Keeps England going forward.
Good play by Hill. He's playing well in this second half, really, because he's not had a lot of great ball to use, but he's just showing what a resilient character he is, and how well he can tidy up bad ball as well as use good ball.
Four-man line-out called by the French this time. Session being told to get out of it. The line-out already full. Back to Gaultier. To Lascubert and Blanco again with the kick. That's straight down Heslop's throat. Oh, and he's found a touch. It went to the line, and Lacroix couldn't keep it in. I thought he was a bit quick to go for the touch kick, rather than looking to see what support he had and perhaps launching a counter-attack himself. But when he makes touch just 4 or 5 metres short of the French line, you really can't argue with him. Moore with the throw-in. No knock-on. England have it. If they can control it now from this maul. Teague trying to roll off. They've got some forward momentum. And they've got the scrum.
Better line-out play by England, and great work by Mike Teague. He really is a strong man in the heart of that ball. There he is going into the scrum. What a great game he's had, Mike Teague.
I'm sure England will look to keep this short, keep it close to the forwards, no mistakes behind them.
Skinner breaking off first blind, then comes back open. Tears through, but can they win the second ball? Oh, and he's given it to England. He blew because there were too many bodies on the floor, not for the knock-on.
Yeah, I thought there was a French hand there, John. Yes, there was. But I'm slightly biased, remember.
So England with another scrum in a good position. Just over 10 metres from the French line. Quick heel that time, back inside, but Winterbottom knocks on, and France coming away with it. Blanco taking play right back up to halfway.
I think they called the right move, going the right-hand short side, keeping it in close, driving forward, but you just cannot afford to make simple errors at this level. All that good work undone now.
Yes, the move was sound, working it out to the right, then back inside to the wing forward, but his hands weren't good enough. So England's throw. Have it again from the front. Carling going forward. Set move, they decided to go that way before they even set that one up. They must take Galtier now, and he's run into touch. Lafont putting a foot in touch before he made that kick. So England with the throw-in on the French 22.
Better play now by England, though. They seem to be spending a lot more time in the French half, and they've weathered that storm. Even though they gave a try away, they've weathered it. And here we see no alternative, which is banging into touch, which means it's England's throw-in 25 yards out. Good attacking position.
15 minutes left. Once again they've got it. Teague gathers it in and sets it up. That's where the ball is. Penalty to France. Wasn't released quickly enough. Teague looks aggrieved, but the referee is telling them exactly what he wants. Lacroix with the kick.
And yet again, another crucial line-out for England. They're back in their own half, and if they can win the line-out and play as positively as they have from the last two, they can be back on attack.
Two-man call this time. Dooley gets to it. Ackford now cleans up and carries it on. Back to Rob Andrew. But again, he can't beat Saint-André. Rory Underwood wrestling with him, gets him into touch eventually.
Yeah, it's a good kick from Rob Andrew, but the kick's as good as its chase, and it was a very important tackle by Rory Underwood. He just grabbed onto his boot last and it brought him down. If he had got behind him there, that could have been very dangerous.
In England just ringing the changes. Ackford going back to the middle of the line out. Skinner is down to number 2. Ackford got it, and a penalty to England. It was Kadir who has problems with the line out. He's not really very big these days for a second row, just 6'4", and barging through. The referee picking him up. A penalty 15 metres in, and it looks as if England are calling up Rob Andrew to take this kick.
Here's the line out here. Still everyone all over it. You can see Kadir gets his left arm around his man and pulls him down. Very strange time to make a kicking change. I thought Webber's been striking the ball well, even if he was off target with the last one.
I think there's a bit more wind against them, David, than we think down there, and they have decided that from the last kick he hasn't quite got the legs from this range. "28 minutes gone, and Rob Andrew with the chance to put England back in the lead. He's hit it well, but it's wide of the left post. Often happens, just trying to give it that extra little bit of oomph. Winterbottom goes up to prevent Galtier taking the quick one. The long drop out. Andrew has it. And again, that kick really not going anywhere. So it's Blanco opening it out. It's good, he had a look, he had the option, he had plenty of room. Realised then that there was not enough support and was still able to make touch. But England have the line out.
Yes, right decision, John, but he sliced his kick, and this has been an absorbing game, and the next 10 minutes are just going to be so tense. And it will be small errors like this one that's going to turn this match. There's not going to be a great deal in it at the end. Slight knock on, England put in. Pressure remains on the French.
Teague picks it up. Now can they work the back row move properly this time? Winterbottom gets it back. Dooley's in there, trying to fight his way through. England ball. The score 10-all, 10 minutes remaining, everything to play for. And we'll go into extra time, of course, if the scores are level at full time. The referee warning the French not to push too early, and then telling the scrum half to get it in quickly. A knock on. Lucky that The referee ruled that he didn't go for a deliberate one there. That was knocked down, and that's often the criterion they use.
Yes, that was a penalty. He's got to go for the ball with both hands. Lucky to get away with that one.
Andrew puts it high. Blanco under it, but Carling's there. Blanco has to take it in the air. He's hit by Winterbottom. But away at that important moment comes Philippe Sella and makes a touch right up by halfway.
Crucial moment. The game was held in the balance as that ball went up. If England could have won it, they could have scored.
Yes, Serge not known for his great prowess under the high ball, but he did brilliantly there, because he would have missed that one. They will be in all sorts of trouble. Great defensive play by Blanco and then by Sella.
The confidence to catch and unload it. Down goes the scrum again.
I was just thinking, John, I wonder how those guys would like 20 minutes extra time. I think they'd be half dead at the end of this.
Richard Hill, again being told to get the ball in quickly. Puts it up the touchline. Heslop, he's there, but he can't take it. Lafond does. And can England get the push on? Yes, they can. And it goes down. England's ball. Huge applause from the English contingent in the crowd. The whistles and boos go up from the French.
I can't help but get the feeling that the English are essentially implicitly playing for the French mistake. They're kicking the ball down, they're trying to put pressure, looking for the mistake. I'd like to see them be a bit more positive and use the ball a little bit wider than the scrum.
This time it comes. Wide to Guscott. I don't know what that kick was meant for. Goes to Blanco. He hoists it back into midfield. Rob Andrews back there. Puts it behind Saint-André. Now he's run 5 metres and Webb can go in for the tackle. A safe touch at last.
You just get the impression that everybody is so tense out there. If anybody makes a mistake now, the game will just hang on that one moment, and people have basically frightened to try anything, and I don't really blame them, to be honest.
I think if France can win the ball, they'll do something. Fortunately for England, they've got a stranglehold on the ball. They're not doing anything particularly positive with it, so the game is just toing and froing at the moment.
Still at this stage of the game, the referee having to call for the gap in the line out. Dooley's gone right to the back, gets up to it, and the penalty given against Dooley. Shot knocked backwards. Session picks it up. Caban in there. Penalty to England in front of the French post. It's a long way out. And Ondarts. Oh, Ondarts in great danger here. Ondarts shrugging off the referee. And Carling just coolly comes in and says, we're going to kick for goal, whatever happens. But Ondarts there, diving straight past the ball, had no intention of playing it. There he is, Pascal Ondarts. Started his career in 1986 in that war of a match between New Zealand and France at Nantes. The oldest player in the French team at 35.
And there you see the penalty count going England's way, but this is the most important one of the lot. It's probably the most important one this lad has ever had to kick in his life.
35 minutes gone, and they've reverted to John Webb as the kicker. Well, this time he's got the length just. It's over! Rumour again jumping. He almost got a hand to it. He was certainly above crossbar height, but that kick just had the tiny little bit extra. that it needed, and England dramatically into the lead, 13-10 with less than 5 minutes left on the clock.
There's Michael Jordan behind there, not Serge Blanco. He tried to dunk the ball out, but it went over and it counts, and there's 5 minutes to go, and England have got to hold on. They've got to hold on for these next 5 minutes, and the first thing they must do is get the ball into the French half to take pressure off themselves.
Teague underneath it. Safe touch from Andrew.
What a battle, what a struggle, what a game. In this next 5 minutes, it's going to be all or nothing.
They must stay very calm again, win the ball. They must somehow snatch this line out and play it back down into the French half.
That's been the crucial factor of the last 20 minutes. They've suddenly regained control of the line-out, but they haven't got control now. Champ hurling himself through the England defence. There's a lot of people here now. Good support. Galtier bringing it back. Champ taking it back this way, trying to go through. A big tackle again. Caban getting in on it. Unbelievable tension. Scrum down to France.
Well, I hope England can stay calmer than I'm feeling, David Kirk, because I can't stand this much longer.
They just must concentrate on a few very basic things. They must make their first tackles, they must not drop the ball if they ever have it, and they must play a percentage controlled, organised game.
Easily said from a neutral Kiwi.
We're into the 38th minute of the second half. France holding it at the back of the scrum. Champ has come round with Session. Try to launch it back to the left. Trying to get in behind. Ball's gone down, scrum down, France has put in again.
And Blanco was poised for the drop goal there. He's right behind the scrum again. If they want to, there's always an option for them to drop a goal.
Two minutes left. Galtier comes blind. They're trying to loop around with Session. He's dragged down though. And he held on to it. And he's... Stephen Hilditch, the referee. And the French number 7 stamping deliberately is what the touch judge is saying to the referee. And there he is. The referee's desperately trying to communicate that number 7, Caban, Laurent Caban, I can tell you, has been penalised for stamping. And that should give the penalty to England. It does. Well, what a time to get a penalty to relieve the pressure. "39 minutes, 15 seconds of the second half gone on my clock. Now, if England can win this line-out, it's a vital line-out for them. If they can get the ball here, Dooley gets the touch to it. Out to Andrew. He just hoists the kick down midfield. Blanco looking for a way through. And it's play on. The referee said you died for that one. And England will be delighted to see the ball down there in the 22. If they can force France to make a short touch here, it could be all over. Blanco determined not to do that. And a moment of madness from Roumat, lost his head totally. And England will take the scrum back from where the kick was made. And We're 30 seconds into injury time already. England leading France, 13-10. And nobody, though, believes here it's over yet.
I'm sure there's a back row move coming here as well. Keep it close, keep it tight. No mistakes. Another scrum's fine by England.
Yes, and the scrum has twisted round through 90 degrees. He'll reset it. But the referee telling England he's not happy for them just to hold it there. He wants it cleared. A minute of injury time played. A little chip over the top from Richard Hill. Heslop is up there. It can't be marked because Lafond had to jump. They've driven him over. It looks like a try. It is a try. And Parc has got it. The captain comes up with the ball. He looks to heaven. He can't believe it. England now have gone 7 points in the lead. They must surely have won this quarter-final.
Well, the referee was in excellent position there, and Carling must have wrestled the ball off Lafond, and with the rest of his forwards right behind him, pushing him over. The try came. Here it is now. He comes in, he must get his inside arm in there. Ripping he is, ripping with his left arm. He's got the ball now, and down he goes. Well refereed and well played, Will Carling.
Well, Will Carling scored an excellent try here 2 years ago when England beat France, nipped around Serge Blanco on that occasion. But that pales into insignificance compared to that one.
Absolutely. Talk about a moment for the captain. And what a great kick it was from Richard Hill. Kept the pressure on. Here goes Nigel Heslop chasing. All the French scurrying back. Get out of the way, he says, quite rightly as well. England men underneath it. Carling takes it, goes over.
John Webb with the conversion. And it's over to 19-10. And England have done it. Their biggest hurdle so far overcome. The French can't believe it. They've been beaten at home at the Parc des Princes. The look of relief on the faces of the England team. Unbelievable. Not the greatest match in the world for running rugby, but I have never been president at such a tense game, David Kerr.
Absolutely. I think for large portions of the game, France actually played the more positive rugby and looked likely to score more points towards the end of the first half and early on in the second half. But England applied the pressure and came up with the goods when it really, really matters in the last 5 minutes.
Well, the England captain has nipped up the field very quickly, and I think Jim has got him down in the tunnel now.
Will Carling, many congratulations, but you had us all sweating.
Oh, it was a very hard game. They played very, very well, and we took a long time to get any control. And I tell you, it was very worrying.
You came through with a try right at the end, and I think if you peep down at the monitor, we can show it to you. And you really, a bit of smuggling there, didn't you? How did you get that one?
Oh, well, Roger Utley was teaching us how to ruck and maul on about Wednesday. And I think I was rucking and mauling there. I've been on the weights.
And I tell you what, you must pay tribute to your forwards, because they really had their backs to the wall for ages, didn't they?
Yes, they did. I mean, they always win games, and they won it again today by some superb... They just stuck at it and won more and more ball. At the end, the French could do nothing.
Jonathan Webb has joined us. Don't go away, Will. Jonathan, ice in the veins, I think there's a saying. But what were you feeling before that kick, because the whole game seemed to be resting on it?
I was happy to see it go over. I said to myself, I don't mind if it only goes a couple of inches over the bar, as long as it goes over. I think that's all it did go over by.
But I mean, you had the whole of France against you. You had quite a few whistling in the Parc des Princes. Yeah. You had to shut all that out, didn't you?
I knew the noise was going to be bad, but I didn't realise it'd be that bad. At the start, it was unbelievable. This close, you couldn't hear each other. Amazing.
And he was pretty fierce there at the start, and without wishing to get you embroiled in too much controversy now, Will, Serge Blanco seemed to be lucky to stay on there.
Well, I didn't see it, but I think the referee said he threw a punch, and obviously he gave him the benefit of the doubt early on. I thought the referee very, very well, but it was fiery. It was very fiery.
But you've come through the cauldron here, and now you've got the Scots up at Murrayfield. It's a week away, I know, and you're going to savour this triumph. What do you feel about the semi-final?
Another cauldron up there. Different game, but the same atmosphere, I'm sure. Same result, I hope.
Will?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to obviously be a great game, and we'll have a bit of a relax now, but it'll be a big cold, and hopefully they won't catch us on the hop twice.
That's right. I noticed you've got the boys in a huddle. I think it was at 10-all, a vital stage, wasn't it? What did you say to the guys then?
Well, I think I said that, you know, we really had to step up the pace and go flat out for a score, because we couldn't just wait for it, and they did. They responded superbly.
You've done very well to join us here. I know you're keen to get back into the dressing room. Jonathan, very well done, Will. Brilliant stuff. Well done.